It is a red ocean. It is a bloodbath. It is sharks eating sharks, and there's minnows trying to be sharks, and it's just not a good place to compete. On top of that, there's no fucking exits. No one's coming to buy you because there's one strategic company out there. I want you guys to take this video as just a lesson that is the worst category to possibly build in. What's up, YouTube? It's been a while. I said I'd post once a quarter. How about once a year? In all seriousness, thanks for coming back watching this video. If you don't know who I am, if you're new here, I'm Sean. I'm the CEO of Ridge. We are a 9-figure a year e-commerce brand. We sell wallets, rings, luggage, tech products, all that type of stuff. When I joined, they were doing about $5 million a year. And now our smallest month is $15 million a month. So the business has scaled rapidly. You know, I've shared some of them publicly, like launching watches, bought everydaycarry.com for $1 million and I shut that down. So there's been a lot of failures along the way. There's been some huge wins. Like revenue's grown every single year. Profit has grown every single year. There's been a lot of learnings along the way, and I hope to share those with you today. We launched luggage because we thought there was a market for a men's away out there. It really comes from like my dad. My dad would not buy an away because he thought it was for girls. He's just that type of guy. You know what I mean? Military dude in his 50s, in his 60s. He's not going to use an away luggage. He's going to use a duffel bag that he's had from some trade show giveaway from 20 years ago. We built luggage for that guy, right? Luggage that he would think would be cool and rugged. There's carbon fiber on it. It's like a little tougher. This year, we'll do tens of millions of dollars in luggage. It is harder to do those 8 figures in revenue than any other product category I have, and it's the least profitable product category I have. The reason why it's so bad is it's a subset of bags, but it's hyper specific on traveling. Rimowa sells it, Tumi sells it, Away sells it. That's what I'm talking about. Now you might say LVMH, they have Rimowa. Rimowa is a luxury brand. LVMH sells handbags. It is one small part of their portfolio. LVMH does 40 or 50 billion a year in revenue. Rimowa is a tiny sliver of that, right? They own 50 plus brands doing crazy things like yachts. They have the H is Hennessy. They sell alcohol. Rimowa is a small sliver of that. So if LVMH is buying you, they're buying you for different reasons than your prowess at digital marketing. They're buying heritage, they're buying luxury, and there is one strategic in the space. It is Samsonite. They own Tumi, they own American Tourist, they own a couple other brands. Samsonite does $3 or $4 billion a year in revenue. They're only worth, as of recording this today, $2.5 billion. So they control 30% of the market. All bags sold, they sell 30% of them globally, maybe a little bit less, maybe 20%, but they are the big player in the space. There is no other public luggage company. Rimowa is selling a luxury lifestyle. You want to be perceived really well. So like the luxury angle works for every single product, from cars to wallets to luggage, right? But if you're not going to be high-end luxury, how are you going to compete? Can't compete on price because Samsonite will beat you every single time. They make all of the luggage on earth. They make it at the lowest margin possible, and they'll sell it to Ross for $15 a pound, right? You just cannot compete with that. If you talk about apparel, there is H&M, there is Fast Retailing, which owns Uniqlo, there is Gap, there is VF Corp, there is Nike. Like all of these brands sell apparel. They're all considered apparel strategics, right? Gildan is an apparel strategic. There is 30, 40, 50 public companies that make their living selling apparel goods. Lululemon, even though it's sportswear, it's still apparel. Aritzia, I can name hundreds of these brands selling apparel, and there's one public company that makes a living selling luggage. That is one of the key problems with this category. If you're going to build in it, there's basically no exit opportunity. Like private equity, if they buy you, they want to eventually make you go public or sell you to somebody else. Maybe a very long-term family office will hold something that will cash flow. That's the exception, not the rule. The rule is they want to buy companies that can be bought by other companies or go public. The end buyer of all companies is the public market. And there's only one luggage company. So you have to be the number 2 luggage company to ever go public. You know, there's other ones that are very small that I'm sure have gone public. You know, there's a strategic in India that does like 500 million a year. But for all intents and purposes, the only public luggage company is Samsonite. So the gross margin for Samsonite is 60% blended. I'll have the actual percentages here on screen. That's not horrible. It's the same as Yeti. It's the same as most consumer goods. The problem is the net margin of a Samsonite is 15 to 17%, also pretty okay. But that delta between gross margin and net margin is just eaten up by freight. The cost of shipping luggage is just really, really high. Right? You're shipping air no matter what you do it. And you cannot ship it air freight really. If you're air freighting from a Vietnam or a China or a India to the US to sell a piece of luggage, you're giving up $40, $50 in freight costs. So you end up sea freighting it, but it's still really expensive. It ends up being $15, $20 to sea freight it, right? The margin structure is just not good for a piece of luggage. Let's take an away bag. Let's say you pay $300 for it. What I'm telling you is that's a great value for you as a consumer. The bag probably costs $70 to make, $15 easily to air freight it in, another $15 to ship it to your door. That's also before tariffs, the $70. So it's probably more like $120 all landed to the customer's door of a $300 bag. There's just not that much margin there. It is, like I said, conservatively $15 to $25 to ocean freight it in, and then it's another $15 to $25 to get it to somebody's door. If you're away, they're still doing warranties on luggage from 2018, and they're going to keep doing that. It is just a really, really hard category to be in, and to hope those customers come back. You have all of the failings of a durable goods business, but with a warranty tied to it, with a margin cap. It is just a really hard category to compete with. The meta now has shifted in consumer to consumable subscription brands for health and wellness products. Gruen sells for $1 billion. Mars Men raises $25 million. Create Gummies raises $20 million. Instant Hydration sells to a PE group for hundreds of millions of dollars. All of these brands are doing the same thing, right? It is subscription, consumable, health and wellness products. And it's because the cost to acquire customers is just going up. You need to have LTV. Do you know what has horrible LTV? A lifetime guaranteed luggage product. If there's one thing you take away from this video, it's that LTV to CAC is the math that rules everything. It is the golden rule. We're in a world where it's incredibly expensive to acquire customers, and it's only getting more expensive to acquire customers. It's not uncommon to have brands spend 50+% of their revenue acquiring customers, and you're competing in the ad auction for the same user. You're competing in the ad auction against Hims, against Ridge, against everybody, right? We're all in the same ad auction, and whoever can spend the most money on ads will win. It's the reason why this category is so difficult, because the customer is basically worthless. It really comes down to Away. Away did an amazing job raising money. Hundreds of millions of dollars has gone into that business to grow to what it is today. And these aren't public numbers. They're just like guesses on the internet, but it's roughly a $500 million a year business. They raised $200 million. It's an amazing feat because the biggest strategic in the category is only doing 2 to 3 billion a year. And then very quickly, you saw the challenger brands go to take out Away. They're like, oh, if selling luggage is such a good idea that someone will invest $200 million into it, maybe I should sell luggage too. And then you have Victor from Monos, who is just an animal, going in there and launching a clone, a dupe. And then you have Bays, which has a celebrity behind them and a really great brand incubator team, launch a dupe of that. And all of these brands just start eating at each other. Then you have Quince coming out with a $50 version or a $100 version, and they're willing to lose money selling the luggage because they have this whole other business they're going to build, right? They're going to build Chinese logistics and infrastructure shipped to America. The luggage is just one tiny piece of their toolkit. It's Away and Monos and Bay's entire existence. Statistics I've pulled is that the luggage industry has a 24% return rate. That's crazy. I mean, it's basically add $6 to $8 on every piece of luggage you send out the door because you're going to have to ship for that stuff back, which is really, really hard business to be in. And then on top of it, it's an AOV bloodbath. Like I said, $300 is like the rough target for the industry. Go on Monos, Away, Bays right now, somebody's gonna let you buy luggage for like $225. And it's the same $20 to $40 in logistics if it's a $300 carry-on, a $200 carry-on, or $800 carry-on. The logistics doesn't change, right? You're shipping the same size box everywhere. There's not a lot of ways to do it. So lots of discounting, lots of returns. Think about a mall. What stores in that mall have third-party luggage brands? Think about department stores. When was the last time we went to a Macy's? When was the last time we went to a Bloomingdale's? When was the last time we went to a Nordstrom's? Go to a Target. Go to a Walmart. They're going to have their own brands there, probably made by Samsonite, probably sold dirt cheap. Unlike a gummy vitamin brand, which can sell to a Target, you cannot sell your luggage into a Target. There's just no buyer for it. There's no market for it. So there's no wholesale account. So it has to be D2C, either your own stores or your own website. Then there's the graveyard. There's Paravel. They raised $10+ million and have gone out of business. There's Antler, which is a UK-based Away competitor. They also went bankrupt. They're back, but like they had to go through the lulls of going bankrupt. All of these companies have not exited. Roughly $500 million in venture capital went into selling you luggage. No matter what luggage you buy, you're getting a very good deal, and they've all gone bankrupt or haven't exited or just sitting around waiting. It is just a dead man's category. Let's talk about the hallmarks of a really good product category. You want tons of strategics in the space to eventually buy you. You want high margin goods. You want subscription or LTV. You want consumability. You want novelty and a new emerging category. If you get all those things together, that's when magic happens. So let's look at Gruen as the perfect example. Gruen's had a ton of strategics in the space, health and wellness, consumables. There's Unilever, P&G, Johnson & Johnson could have bought them. There's tons of companies that make all the things that go on shelves. It's a gummy you're supposed to take every single day so you don't get sick, okay? So it has built-in LTV. It's consumable. They had a huge subscription business. Win, win, win. They had a new, exciting form factor. So the category of Flintstone gummy vitamins have been around forever. Doing it for adults, new form factor people got excited by. So that's where all of the money is going. Those are the good categories. If you're going to be in hard goods, jewelry is the best category to possibly be in because the margins are crazy. Not only are there really high product margins, right? It's not uncommon to have 90% product margins in jewelry. There's almost no cost to ship it. It's just incredibly cheap to ship. You can USPS almost every single piece, and your cost of delivering goods is 5% off a $200 item. The other thing is high AOV. High AOV, high margin, low cost to fulfill. It's the best durable category you could possibly be in. So if you're sitting here and you're like, hey, I want to launch a luggage brand or a backpack brand, I'm telling you, jewelry is a way better category. Just sell cool chains or something like that. It does kind of lack strategics in the space. I mean, if you're extreme luxury, maybe LVMH will buy you, right? Chrome Hearts has an investment from L Catterton. There's Pandora. They're publicly traded. They do really, really great. But there's not that many strategics in the men's jewelry space. With that being said, leaps and bounds above luggage. Unless you have 10 million plus customers, I wouldn't suggest trying to sell luggage to them. I would focus on where the puck is going and where the puck currently is. It is consumable, subscription, high LTV brands. Their cost to acquire customers is only going up. Find ways where you can get them on your product for 6 months or a year so you can drive the LTV up to pay for the acquisition. That is the only math you need to learn if you want to be successful in consumer. But Sean, you sell luggage. Why do you sell luggage? Well, I want to test everything, right? I will sell gummies, I will sell rings, I will sell tech products. My job is to grow Ridge, and I don't know what I don't know, so I'm going to launch all of these categories. Your job is to learn from my mistakes. Why do I share this stuff? Is because I want more entrepreneurs to be more successful. I was listening to my podcast. I want you to buy Ridge wallets, all that different type of stuff. So I'm out here sharing my lessons with you. We had a very large base to launch into to make it successful. We had a core customer, and we tried really hard to get to where we are, and we've made it work.